Oh, hi there. You just caught me coming out of the shower. Lovely shower I've got. You don't have one. So this is another predictions video. We're here again. We're here once again with WWE, and this time it's Raw, and this time it's WWE. Great Balls of Fire! I personally love the name. Everyone hates it. I don't. I think it's a great name. What's not to love about it? Just imagine Vince McMahon saying Great Balls of Fire in a meeting about a pay-per-view name. And that's just the best thing in the world. You know what would be a great name? Great Balls of Fire! We'll get on with it. We're going to kick things off with the kickoff match, which is Neville, the Cruiserweight Champion, taking on the newly signed to the Titus brand, Akira Tozawa. Not going to lie, not really that fussed about who wins. Well, no, not about who wins. I'm not that fussed about the match in general. I know Tugboat keeps going on about how much he loves the Titus brand, but it's alright. It's not amazing. Doing something, I suppose. But I don't watch 205 either, so, you know, whatever. Neville's going to win. We know Neville's going to win. And Austin Aries has left the company. Moving onwards, and we're going to keep it with the championship titles. It is the Intercontinental Championship match between The Miz, the champion, versus... what's his name? Dean Ambrose. How did I forget his name? Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. We've seen this rivalry for a long, long time now. And yeah, I think it's time to move on. It's time to move on from this rivalry, which it's kind of gone on a bit. It's been pretty good recently with the Miztourage stuff and that American man whose name I don't know because I live in the UK and he plays basketball. I don't know. He went nuts. It was some very, very strange television. It should be a good match. They generally put on some good matches. I do still think Miz is going to win. You know what? No. Because I got burned by this last time. I think Miz is going to retain. Is what I'm going to say. Because I said the Usos were going to win on my last predictions video. And what happened? They won the title. They were left with the titles, but they lost the match. So there you go. I just realised I said Neville was going to win. That I do think is going to happen. I think Neville will win. Actually, no, I'm not going to take that risk. So, yeah. Neville's going to retain, and Miz is going to retain. There you go. I've just saved my ass right there. Moving onwards to a very emotional match in the Enzo versus Cass, which has been quite the stormer, isn't it? You had it all come out on Raw with the old... yeah, damn right. No, I don't know the words. I'm not going to try and quote it. Basically, Cass turned on Enzo. We all saw it. It was very, very good. And Enzo is becoming likeable again. I mean, I don't know about you, but the last couple promos he's been doing, I'm like, mate, I'm down with Enzo. Everyone's predicting that Cass is going to come out of this and be a star, and Enzo's just going to be kind of left by the wayside. But the way that man talks, like, you never know. Enzo could be a big deal, and Cass could just kind of float off into the sunset and never be seen again. You never know. This is wrestling. Cass, for me, is going to win it. I think he'll dominate most of the match, and Enzo will put up a fight. But otherwise, yeah. Cass, for me, this is pretty easy so far. To be honest, easy predictions. Move on. Now we have the Hardy Boys versus Sheamus and Cesaro in a 30-minute Iron Man match, which is awesome. A tag team match, Iron Man, brilliant stuff. This should be a stormer. It should be a fantastic match. In terms of who's going to win, I'm actually struggling. It's very easy to say Sheamus and Cesaro because this will be, in a way, the rubber match, I suppose. And I don't expect the rivalry to continue moving forward unless they do like another match from Raw, maybe. But I think it could go either way. I think there's more prospects for the Hardys to win because then they can go on and face a revival and stuff like that. I don't know who Sheamus and Cesaro would face at SummerSlam. Like, bar the Hardys, name another good guy team. Enzo and Cass just broke up, so it's not them. And I'm drawing a blank. I'm sure there's going to be a team that I've completely forgotten. And you're going to be like, but I don't care. Swivel! I suppose I should probably say who I think is going to win. I'm going to go with Sheamus and Cesaro. And then I think the Hardys are going to move on to something else. It might not be the broken stuff, but I think they're going to move on to bigger things. Even though it doesn't really make sense for SummerSlam. Sheamus and Cesaro. Another title match, and it's the women with Alexa Bliss versus the Boss. Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. They've not built to this very well, have they? I mean, the main event they did with the where Nia Jax dominated for the whole thing, and then Sasha won at the end. That was fantastic. But then the week after with the handicap match, and Sasha still won. It's like, but they keep falling into this trap of not building the women on Raw very well. I hope that changes someday. But yeah, for now, Bliss still. I just don't see a reason for Bliss to lose unless they're planning. Like again, I keep falling into the trap of trying to think of what they're planning for SummerSlam, and I still think Bliss is going to win. Retain, and Sheamus and Cesaro retain as well, even though that's clearly going to have a definitive winner, so it wouldn't really matter either way. Retains. Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds. This is actually quite difficult because there's neither of them lose anything by losing. Like Wyatt is already stuck in that hole of like we keep thinking he's just going to lose constantly, and Seth Rollins is very over at the moment, so I don't think it's not really going to affect him having a loss. But at the same time, I think there's more reward in pushing Rollins for a big babyface push. Whereas Wyatt now he'd win, and we just think he's going to lose next month, and it's like he's just in cycles. So yeah, Rollins, nearly there. Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Again, a hard one to predict, but then again, maybe not a hard one to predict, depending on your viewpoint on where they're going to put Reigns in the SummerSlam card. Because if they're putting him against Lesnar, then we all know what's going to happen. Braun's going to end up in that ambulance. I feel like it would be a different result if this ambulance match was Extreme Rules, because then Braun would have been the one to face Brock at Great Balls rather than Samoa Joe. But now we're looking at a likelihood of Roman going on to SummerSlam. Then, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Braun, but Roman's going to win. Boo. And finally, the match that I personally have been waiting for, because I'm super hyped about it, is Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe. This should be... I mean, it's like, how well have they built this? Just... like, they've built it brilliantly. Like, so good. And Joe's looking like a beast. My only concern, and this is because I think Lesnar's going to win, my only concern is that they've done all this building with Joe, and the only way to really capitalise on that is for Joe to win, which I don't see them doing. I see them going for Lesnar Reigns. I would love Joe to win, but I mean, I don't see Lesnar passing out, you know? Time will tell, but yeah, Lesnar retains through some sort of naughty means, and we see Reigns versus Lesnar at SummerSlam. I'd love it to be different. I would love Joe to win. Love it, because it would be the best thing, and then they would have just built a freaking star. But for the sake of predictions, I'm going to go with Lesnar. So all the titles retained. All of them. Every single one retained. I'm not so confident I'm going to get 100% right, but you know what? I don't care. I just got out of the shower. I've got wet hair. You know? Get out of my house.